Now we are going to welcome on stage, just his name is Goode. His name is Nick Goode, and he's working for the Goode. He's the vice president of the project marketing at Sage Group. It's like a huge company. It's in many, many different countries, like 23 countries, over 12,000 employees. So he got a big responsibility. But what interests him the most is the well-being of the people who works in his company. He tried to do his best so that he improves the well-being of people. And he developed a full approach. So we are going to welcome, please, Nick Goode. He's going to tell us more about what he does. Hello, Nick. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
So I guess that when our name is good, we can only be good, right?
Well, they say good by name, bad by nature, right? But I'm not sure about that. I mean, what was great preparing for this event, in my mind, was there's some really interesting workforce statistics. And one of the things we do at Sage, as some of you know, is payroll and HR. So we spend a lot of time analyzing the trends in that space. Did you know that 68% of people in the world go to work completely disengaged? All right. Yeah. And some studies go right down as low as 15% who really actually want to be there. And yet we also know from a recent McKinsey study that productivity is at its lowest point since 1960. Okay.
It's paradoxal because...
Yeah, exactly. And so even though we have invested massively in digital transformation in the workforce, we know that there's increased stress and anxiety, absenteeism, and as I said, disengagement, and also that leading to that loss of productivity. So what that means to me is, yes, we're here to talk about digital transformation, but what really strikes me is that the human inside the workplace is even more important in a digital world than before. And tell me, is anybody here not worried about recruiting people, retaining people, and getting the best out of those people? Everyone I speak to, leaders in business, will say, I'm really concerned. I cannot find people, I can't get them to stay, and I can't motivate them. So we have a real duty as a community to make the workplace a place of wellness, and that's my ethos.
How can we explain that? How can we be depressed where we're supposed to improve the quality of the environment?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. And one thing, I don't know about you, but we're always on, we're always connected. I spend a lot of my day on Skype and Zoom and those tools. And there's a really basic piece here, which is let's make life digitally simple for the workforce, okay? So if I said to most employees, where is your paycheck? They don't know. It's somewhere online in the system. How much tax do you owe? How can you log your hours, make sure you know what bonus you're going to get? All of those basic things. You might think payroll is dull, but everyone, including me, loves payday, right? And so just by making the most basic applications really work for colleagues is a first step. And I mentioned collaboration. I'll give you an example. The other day, I was invited to a meeting on Skype. I clicked the link, then I got a text on WhatsApp saying, actually, we've moved the meeting to Microsoft Teams. I went to Microsoft Teams, and there was a sign on my screen saying, somebody we hope will let you in a minute. And by this time, I'm really stressed, right? Because I'm thinking, I need to be on this call, I've got to lead the call. And it was all just digital confusion. Let's make it really simple. Pick a tool, get everyone to use it. We collaborate more now with Slack and all the different tools, and yet productivity has gone down. And one of the reasons for that is because we're getting the basics wrong.
So what do we do? What is it that you did to improve this?
Yeah, so again, IT policy, things like that, get the basics right is definitely one. At Sage, what we've also done is created Sage Foundation, which is a giving back organization. Okay, so each colleague has 5 days a year to give, sometimes in an organized way, sometimes in a very private way. But what this has done is really created a culture of teamwork. So I get to go on days where we help organizations with colleagues I never speak to normally, who I don't even know, and they become like friends. So you break down the barriers of the hierarchy in the organization, for example. But I think more than that, it gives a binding purpose to the company. There was a great talk earlier where the speaker was talking about how you know, purpose shouldn't just be something outside of what you do, sort of on a Friday afternoon. It should be right in the heart of your culture and in your mission. And we've really made that a thing at Sage. And purpose-driven businesses, there's a great book called Selling with a Noble Purpose by Lisa McLeod, who's a friend of mine and a colleague. And her research, which is very scientific, has shown that in sales organizations, purpose delivers a 3.8 times 380% improvement in sales productivity. When those people are selling with a purpose. So purpose needs to be something that's at the heart of your business, but also in you know, creating giving back as really fundamental to your organization. I think the other thing is data, of course. So again, because we work in HR, we know that less than a third of decisions are made about people using data, okay? Whereas in other parts, like if you made a decision about a marketing campaign or a new product without data, you'd be crazy, right? So over 80% of actual business decisions are made using data from systems, while only less than a third about people in our research is done off spreadsheets and ideas, right? Make your company a people company through tools that use data.
And you mentioned volunteering.
Yes.
And yesterday you told me that actually the people who are giving the time for volunteering, they got a lot of pride out of it. And it actually improved their efficiency at work and their well-being at work. So maybe there is a way here that we can maybe develop, no?
Yeah, so I had the good fortune of chatting to Leila last night, and I was recently invited to a leadership offsite, which we all go to, and we were asked to bring a picture, a photo of something we were proud of at work. 80 to 90% of the pictures, and these are top executives, C-level executives at a worldwide group, brought a picture of something to do with Sage Foundation, our giving back organization. There was some about technology and some about customers, but that had really captured the imagination. And we also know, we do a lot of surveys, with our colleagues, and we know that 42% increase in engagement. That's just not happiness, that's actual engagement with the business. We've seen a 42% increase through the Sage Foundation as a sort of wash back into the workplace. So definitely.
And you actually also told me yesterday that the study and your experience has shown that you can have less and be more happy. It's not necessarily the accumulation of well-being that makes you feel better. You can actually feel better having less.
Yeah, and I think, so here's the futuristic bit for me, which is, I talked earlier about how all the data showing lack of productivity, higher anxiety, and so on. Well, actually, what if we imagined a future world of work where the workplace added to your health and well-being? So still today, work creates stress. We see it as something we have to recover from, right? Detox from. What if the world of work was somewhere where you went to feel great? And I'm not talking about just wellness programs, right? So taking your team for a run at 6 a.m., that's not a wellness program for two reasons. First of all, it's not inclusive. Not everybody wants to do it. And secondly, it's quite divisive. So those who do it, great. Those who don't feel good. Wellness at work, what if you had a policy which said, actually movement, it's proven that physical movement makes you more productive. It doesn't cost you anything. But some companies are really doing this, where I'm not talking about everyone doing an aerobics class at 7 a.m. Again, it's not that. It's choosing to say, we want you to be mobile in the workplace, for example.
Yeah.
And what if, there are some companies where they're building community gardens, right? Where you can actually grow and share food together. I mean, that's really far out. But this notion of the workplace as somewhere superhuman that adds to your health is something I'm really passionate about, so that we take away all that anxiety and we increase productivity.
Actually, I was wondering, is from the executive point of view, don't you think there is we have to go through a shift in the mindset? Because obviously we don't want to feel stress at work, but at the same time we have this pressure that we have to be competitive, sharp, efficient, do everything fast. So how can you, on one hand, be effective and competitive, and on the other hand, be relaxed at work?
Yeah, so I think, again, our experience to use us as a guinea pig is that, yeah, we said we were really bold, giving 5 days, that's a lot. As well as holidays, right? That's a lot of time. And yet, because it's proven to improve productivity, it's a really great investment. Plus, it is great for our brand. We're not doing it for that reason, but it's really great. And coming back to the first thing, the biggest issue at work that causes certainly me stress is how do I get the best people, and when I get them, how do I make them super successful, right? So these wellness programs also help to attract and differentiate organizations, and it can't just be a talk. It's got to be a thing. You got to do it and show that it's working.
Okay. Well, I think we, as a sum up, if you can just say one little sentence, because I'm being told here that we soon have the honor to receive.
So, in a world transformed digitally, put the human in the center. Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nick.